You don't need a mentor. You need to embrace the power of community. I hope you guys are ready for this one. I feel like I have a lot to say about this one. I feel very intense about this one, but I'm also curious because maybe there's some great advice in here. Now, I've heard the advice over and over, find a mentor. While having a mentor can be valuable, relying solely on one mentor isn't the most effective approach to learning and growing. Instead, let's redefine what it means to receive mentorship to benefit the most people. Again, I have a lot of opinions. Before I pass judgment, we're going to let some cooking happen, okay? We'll let the cooking happen. I'm just going to slow down. I can feel it coming. Okay, let's just cook. Just cook. What does it? Let's see. What does that mean? It means that we see mentorship as daily opportunities to learn and grow with people that we may or may not have direct contact with regularly. Okay, I fundamentally disagree with this statement 100%. Meaning that I do think that proper mentorship can only exist in which there is part of that whole Aristotle friendship requirement of proximity. It means that we see communities as the most valuable resourceship to mentorship. Again, I'm having a hard disagree here. That we can receive mentorship by interacting with people in an online environments and by seeing every conversation as an opportunity to learn something new, that we ask questions, provide feedback, and that we mentor ourselves as part of that journey. I think we may define mentorship different here. I think that's what I'm reading here. I think I'm reading something. I think when I hear the word mentorship or mentor, it's somebody that doesn't just simply coach you on simple technical advice, but really tries to shape you as a person, specifically you, the person, right? General platitudes and pieces of advice don't necessarily translate into your life. They're just simply good ideas, right? Hey, outwork and out nice people at your job. That's a nice piece of advice, right? You will be the person that people like. You're nice to. You help them grow. You're a good person. You're pretty nice at the job. All those nice things. But is that like really advice for you to grow on? That's just a nice thing to say, and it's like a nice community building thing. But is it actually mentorship? I would say no, it's not mentorship. It's like a self-help book. Why community mentorship is better than one-on-one mentorship? I completely disagree with the statement universally, but let's see. I want to take a second to define what I mean here. When I say one-on-one mentorship, I mean that you have a regular or semi-regular scheduled time to meet with the same person for guidance and opportunity to learn. I'm not saying you shouldn't do this, but I'm saying that community mentorship or seeing a group of people in your interactions with them as a mentorship is better. Let the cooking happen. Let the cooking happen. Diverse perspectives. If you're meeting one-on-one, you're limited to that person's knowledge, exposure, and perspective. One of the key advantages of having a community of mentors is the diverse perspectives that you'll see and hear. Different voices and experiences provide a broader understanding of the industry, new ideas and offer more opportunities. The community perspective can come from online communities on Discord or Slack meetups, or by interacting with various authors through blogs and forums. That experience will allow you to hear a variety of viewpoints, allowing for a more well-rounded understanding of tech and best practices. Okay, so this statement I now officially agree on, because look at what we're narrowing it down to. Allowing for a more well-rounded understanding of tech and best practices. This is probably true. If you are attempting to learn what tech should you use, what are the benefits of tech, and all of that, having a larger group of counselors, if you will, or people with whom you bounce ideas off of, this is true. Absolutely. It's always been true. It will always continue to be true. But that is not the point of mentorship. If you think the point of mentorship is to become a better programmer, then you're doing mentorship wrong. Supportive and diverse network. Building a network can consist of peers, experienced techies, and even experts in the industry and benefit you throughout your career. Engaging with a diverse group of people in tech at all stages of the journey allows you to learn from different perspectives and also facilitates knowledge sharing, collaboration, and the formation of lasting connections that may lead to future opportunities. It becomes an opportunity to peer mentor and grow through teaching and collaborating with others, key skills we all need in tech. Yeah, I mean, these are good. These are all good things you'll need. It will make you a better coworker if you know how to communicate with people, how to help people get over knowledge humps, all that kind of stuff. I agree with currently all these statements. Accessible knowledge. What happens if you have a question that determines an important part of your tech journey and your mentor is unavailable for an extended period of time? Having a collective knowledge of a community allows for availability at all times. That means you can seek guidance and answer to your questions whenever you need them without being limited by your mentor's schedule. So this is where we're starting to get into the side of mentorship that I think is more important. I would say that if you don't have your mentor's number, right, if you aren't in some sort of chat in some sort of way saying, hey, I have a big life issue coming up and I would love some advice. If your mentor is just like, sorry, gone for 3 weeks, talk to you later, that's not a good mentor to begin with, right? And I do not think the internet is good at answering whatever this question is. If you go into my Discord chat and you're like, hey, I got a big life conundrum, could anyone help me? I'd be very careful on the advice you're getting, okay? Continuous learning. Every interaction in a community is an opportunity to learn, whether that's active or passive. Early in my career, I worked mostly one-on-one with experienced developers. And I learned a lot from that experience. But I learned the most when I engaged or actively engaged in a community. A lot of that learning came from the reading Slack conversations between developers. I was able to see how they asked each other questions, the process they used to debug, and read different approaches to the same problem. Communities are a constant stream of fresh ideas and insights. You know, it's very shocking. This article is almost identical to that previous article we read, which was about learning after work. I want you to kind of take a key concept out of this. Notice something here, that everything that is being done is for the sake of getting something out of it. So, you know, if I was going to be a mentor to all of you, you can't have a stream that's always pouring into one place. You also need that stream to come back out. Not every opportunity is a learning opportunity. Sometimes, and a lot of times, most opportunities are actually an opportunity for you to pour out, right? To do the opposite of said learning. Supportive environment. Community mentorship can create a communal support system. You might find that other community members have the same goal and you can support each other, sustain motivation, and get emotional support through the journey. One of the most beneficial experiences I had when I was learning to code was hearing people who were ahead of me in their journey saying that they experienced the same frustrations. I stopped feeling so alone and I was able to gain confidence as they shared their stories and advice with me. That's very interesting. I guess I've never had that experience in the sense that when I was learning, I felt so dang frustrated. I didn't understand what a method was and what the heck was going on. I had to learn Java, and it was from Dytel and Dytel is like the worst possible book of all time for learning Java. And I remember just feeling so confused at what classes were, what functions and all this stuff was, and I remember just feeling so angry about it. But I had no Twitter. I had no online. MySpace was the only social network at that point. And I just simply had to will myself into existence to make me learn this thing, right? There was no Facebook at that time. Facebook wasn't even invented at that time. Or if it was invented, it was only at like Harvard, right? I wasn't at Harvard, okay? And I just remember feeling just this vast difficulty hurdle ahead of me. But there was nothing except for myself that I never had quote-unquote emotional support. I don't know. It's very interesting. I don't know what that's like, so I can't really comment on that. You know what I mean? Continuous opportunities for growth. I strongly believe in horizontal mentorship, the ability to mentor at any stage. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. You can always share those strengths to help others. Community mentorship often provides these opportunities for growth and development. You can contribute your experiences, your expertise, collaborate on projects, and become a mentor yourself. So I guess one of the biggest problems I have with this whole take right here is that it's an exceptionally... The problem is that what I see here, I see two things wrong with this perspective. The first thing I see wrong with this perspective, or let me say it the other way. I see a couple things right with this perspective. It is very, very true that in a plurality of people, it is a very good place to see and learn different ideas and ways of solving problems. Even just seeing one other person's piece of code can vastly change how you see a problem versus somebody just by seeing someone else solve a problem, right? Like, that's very true. So I agree with this take in the sense that being a part of a quote-unquote online community can do really good things for, I think, some of your technical abilities, for being exposed to new technologies, for hearing different arguments for why things are good or bad. But it also has the exact same inverse problem, which is being a part of an online community. Often those communities, just due to the algorithm, will simply push you into a circle of more like-minded people, right? Because you guys are all liking the same thing. You're all retweeting the same thing. You all become this tight circle in which almost creates an inverse effect. Here's the tweet I was trying to talk about right here, which is like I make this stupid tweet, right? The midwit says HTMX kind of effectively is just for people who don't understand. They're not enterprise engineers. You can't build anything real out of it. It's just the dummies and the high IQ that are actually like, no, you can, and it's actually a good thing. And then right here, you have HTMX moves the complexity to the wrong place. This take only exists in a world in which he's been told over and over again about why you use a very specific piece of technology. You only use React. You would only use Enterprise. Trust us. We are the best. We are the best people. We know everything that needs to be done. We understand how the web should be written. This is the only way to do it, because the only way you could come up with this take is that you have to have like a complete vacuum there. And I love this response, which is, yes, a secured computing environment where you may use whatever languages, tools, and environments you would like to encapsulate and deal with complexity. A horrifying choice indeed when compared to the insecure VM with a built-in hacking console. That is the browser, right? Like, this is such a solid take because that's what it's offering. It's like when you aren't in several communities, you get a singular piece of a viewpoint of why something is good, and it can cause the inverse problem of community online mentorship, which is community online ignorance, right? You pool collective ignorance together because you're all reparroting the exact same talking points over and over and over and over again. And so it's just something to think about, that just because you're a part of an online community and just because you're a part of a large community, it does not matter. Right? It's very difficult to get something. You can accidentally bamboozle yourself into a local Optima, thinking you're actually getting something out of it, and you're not getting anything out of it. Right? It's just real. And the second thing I want to say about this article, which is there's a fundamental miss here with mentorship. I do not think mentorship really should be designed for a pure technical. It's not for technical prowess or earning. Technical stuff. Really, really, really is best learned online, engaging, reading articles, YouTube videos, books, right? Like, it's about that. That's where you're going to do all that. And of course, the final one, which is time in the saddle, building things yourself, right? That is where you're going to get all your technical prowess from. But a mentor is the person that comes in there and says like, hey, I've been at the same job as you. I've been watching you communicate. I've seen all the messages you've sent. I've watched you in groups talking. I've watched your body language. And when you talk to people, you have a way of making them feel smaller because this is how you're communicating, right? Their goal as a mentor is to help you become to see your flaws in life, right? That's what a real mentor is going to be doing, is to see your flaws, to see the things that you're really doing that aren't good. And so when you reduce your mentor down to someone who's going to make you technically better, you've missed the entire point of a mentor to begin with, right? Mentorship should be about life and life skills. It should not be about technical stuff. Sure, you can go find someone that's super technical and you could have them walk you through a problem. That's cool. That's like technical mentorship, and that's fine, right? It's more like technical coaching. It's not mentorship, it's coaching. And you can find those people, and you can find somebody and go, okay, I want to do all these things, and it'll be great. Mentorship is about teaching you things you didn't know you could learn. Yes, mentorship is about teaching you things you didn't know you could learn. Mentorship is about seeing things in yourself that you can't see. You know how easy it is as an external person to see someone else's faults? You know how hard it is to see your own faults? I just want you to think about that for a second. How much do you see faults in other people? How much do you see faults in yourself? A lot of people have a very hard time seeing faults in themselves. What instead they see is I'm just not good enough, right? You have these really abstract, broad stroke faults that you see that nobody really minds having, right? My big problem is that I just don't believe in myself enough, right? Oh, okay. That's your big problem. We got it. That's your big problem. I get it, right? It's there's no real seeing into yourself. It's always these really simple one-dimensional things. And so just thinking out loud, I don't know. Community mentorship, I don't think truly exists, because at best, that means on any character insight, the only thing you're going to get from community mentorship is someone trying to cancel you, right? It's just not good. You want friends, right? Online community is not a replacement for friends. Friends can help you, right? Friends are some of the greatest mentors. Friends are also some of the worst people to have in your life. So Know who your friends are, the people that are speaking into your life. Those are going to have way more influence on your life, the trajectory of your career, and everything. You know? So, just a thought. I think this word is overloaded, and I think it's just simply incorrect. Real talk. I think that this whole take is just mixing up the difference between friendship/mentorship and online communities and learning. Fred gives his take. Ooh, let's go.
Okay. Yeah. I run a large open source community. Communities are awesome for finding like-minded people. I agree. That is not mentorship. That's actually something totally different. It can help you be accountable to people. It can help you find like a common task to like work on something larger than yourself. Those are all great things, but that's not mentorship as far as I'm concerned. You can find a mentor within a community. It's actually a great way to like, the whole thing about open source especially is like, we just don't have enough time. Like if someone comes in super excited, yeah, like we would love to help you do a thing that like benefits Astra, benefits everyone, and then benefits yourself. So there is mentorship to be found within communities, but it's a different thing. It's not just like, oh great, I'm active in Discord and now I'm like becoming a better engineer. Like no, you have to still work for it, but the community can be a great jumping off point. So
yeah,
I think that's where the article maybe like mushes up a bunch of things.
Yeah,
there's truth to it, but it's more specific in my mind.
Yeah, for me it was just the trading of. There was definitely like. For me, I just see like some sort of like we've become a very online place, especially since COVID happened, and a lot of friendships kind of have fallen apart or become less important, if you will, ever since those days. And so I feel like it's really just a reflection of the state of the world and the lack of true friendships. And so therefore we do like you should find everything online. It's just like, well, there's things you just can't find online, right? Like you just, no matter how hard you try, they don't exist, right? And so mentorship now has been boiled down to becoming a better programmer, which is, that's not it. Like that's maybe a small point of mentorship, maybe some very small technical points, but all my best mentoring that I've ever had received upon me have been very hard things to hear from people who were close to me and that I did not want to hear.
Yeah,
you know,
100%. And I am not someone who's ever been like comfortable with like, hello, like writing out an email, dear sir or madam, would you mentor me? Please, I'd really like that. Please. Like that has always felt super foreign, but some of my best mentors have come through work on open source. Like, yeah, you're going to get like, someone's not going to let you merge a bug, or they're going to give you like really good feedback if you find the right one. And yeah, again, everyone needs help. So yeah, if you're like me and that feels like super excruciating, the open source or the community is almost like the excuse to go talk to this person who you think would be a great mentor.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, because there is definitely niche mentoring, right? If you've never worked with some sort of flow with people, there can be definitely some niche mentoring, like, hey, handle these PRs a little bit different. Hey, handle this a little bit different. You know, like that also completely exists.
Oh, yeah. Or like, hey, you're being a dick and scaring away other people from our community right now. You need to stop. That's the biggest problems in software, for at least that I've seen, are people problems. So yeah, even just that layer of like, do you know you're communicating this way? Because it's not good is super helpful, especially early on in your career.
I need to hear it about once a week. Honestly, it's a perennial problem. It's like, did you ever play golf?
Yeah, barely.
I love using golf as an analogy jumping point, a metaphor jumping point, because it is so good. It just has so many correlations with real life. Every single time I swing, my brother-in-law goes, "Keep your head down." I have to hear that phrase every single time. Why do I have to hear that phrase? Because I will literally never remember it. Someone has to say it. Just remind me to say that thing. And even when I know I should do it, if I don't have it actively on the forethought of my brain, I won't do the thing I should be doing. It's like I have to be reminded perennially about all the things I should be doing.
He also might be like negging you. He's like, little bro, keep your head down. I got this.
Don't worry, I'll carry the team. We're carrying the team.